All right, welcome back to All Cars Y'all. I am John, and this week we have a new Motorweek retro review. It is the 92 Toyota Paseo, and this is a car I have never respected at all. In fact, I do have a little bit of a personal story about it. After I graduated from college, I was working with a guy, and he started dating a woman who had a Paseo, and we all basically laughed at him about it. This is essentially a tercel and a two-door, a little sportier. And, you know, it doesn't have any real sporting pretensions. But as I've gotten older, I appreciate this car. I don't know that I love it, so I'm really interested to see this review, but I kind of miss this. You know, these simple, basic, not overly powerful, but fun little coupes to drive around, like the Nissan NX 1600 and 2000 or the Mazda MX-3 specifically. This kind of has a little place in my heart, so I'm interested to see what Motorweek said about it when it was brand new. Come take a journey with me.
Motorweek is made possible by Lucas Oil, TireRack.com, and RockAuto.com.
This is the Toyota Paseo. It's one of a host of small, sporty coupes that have debuted on the market recently. It's also proof of how well the Oriental automakers anticipate market needs. No sooner had the price of gas started to go up than these sporty little cars, based on economical, easily insured small car platforms, started to appear in showrooms everywhere. The Paseo is based on Toyota's Tercel, a car that we like so much that we voted it our best bargain car in our annual Driver's Choice Awards. But the Paseo's sporty looks promise more than just basic transportation. As we usher in the Paseo to take its place among Toyota's sporty lineup, we also bid a fond adieu to the Corolla SR5 and GTS, which the Paseo replaces. If the sleek, rounded shape of the Paseo, with its flush-mounted headlights and rakish rear window, looks even a little familiar, there's a reason: contemporary design, which means all of its contemporaries are using a similar design.
So, yeah, it's okay, I guess. I don't know what to say exactly. It reminds me a little bit of a Nissan, a little bit of a Hyundai, the Scoop. As a matter of fact, the rear end doesn't quite do it for me. It's got those ovoid tail lights that became really popular. Kind of these thick rear pillars. It looks okay. It looks like a Nissan. There's honestly there's a touch, just a touch of Volkswagen in the profile here. And I mean, like the Passat. It's okay. I mean, there's nothing exciting here. It's just rounded and smooth, and it's just okay.
But it's styling that works, or more important, sells. As I mentioned, the Paseo is based on the 93.7-inch Tercel platform, and from the front, the Paseo looks typically Toyota. A quick glance at the other end, adorned with an optional spoiler, and we get the impression that this car means business.
No, we don't. No, we don't. That could be a Corolla, as far as we're concerned. That doesn't say business to us.
However, a peek under the hood, and we find that it's only econo-sports business as usual. Thanks to twin cams and 4 valves per cylinder, the Tercel's 1.5-liter 4-cylinder has its power boosted to an even 100 for the Paseo. And it moves the Paseo along at a respectable clip, but not quite enough spunk to live up to the car's racy looks. But the story's not over yet. Although we yearn for more horsepower, the Paseo's performance numbers were not that disappointing. The 2,075-pound Paseo travels 0 to 60 in 10.6 seconds. A quarter-mile trip is over in 17.9 seconds, with a final speed of 78 miles per hour.
You know, don't let them fool you. That's slow. I mean, 1.5 liters, 100 horsepower. I imagine with the weight, it feels peppy, maybe lively is a better word, but make no mistake, that's kind of slow.
While not quick, power remains constant through the RPM range. Plus, it's slow enough to please insurance companies everywhere. What the Paseo lacks in get up and go, it makes up for in mileage. EPA estimates with the 5-speed manual are 28 city and 34 highway.
And that's pretty good. I mean, that's what you get with a small engine compared to some of the other ones I've done where they've got bigger engines, more powerful engines. That's certainly competitive compared to today. That's not outstanding. Again, I have a 2017, I think, 2014 Accord that gets about 30 in the city. So not outstanding, but that's what progress does for you. This is pretty good compared to the other cars. I imagine that's very, very good.
Our combined stop and go and highway driving loop averaged 30 miles per gallon. Making its way through the slalom, the Paseo's McPherson struts in the front and trailing torsion beams in the rear produce typical Econobox handling. Front plow is heavy, and the softly sprung suspension produces an excessive amount of body roll. Although it felt like the car would lose contact, it never lost its grip. Bringing all this activity to a screeching halt takes some doing. 60 to 0 requires an average of 135 feet. The brakes lock easily when hot, but control and stability are good. Unfortunately, anti-lock brakes are not available.
And that's not good. Whether any of the performance here is not terribly good. Whether it's at 0 to 60, whether it's the handling, which they define as Econobox standard, not even updating it to make it more sporty, and then 130 some odd feet to stop. That's about 20 feet longer than most other cars I've reviewed of this era. That's not good at all. Again, I keep expecting them to say it's better than the sum of its parts.
Like all Econo sports coupes, the Paseo's interior comes straight from its frugal brother. But that's good. The rounded shapes are pleasing and match the exterior styling theme. Gauges are big and easy to read, but too few for our liking. Getting comfortable in the Paseo is accomplished by manual adjustments to the cloth-covered bucket seats, but you are limited to the basic moves. While some of our staff found the seats to be on the hard side, they do provide good back support. More side support would be appreciated. Passive restraint is by way of door-mounted, non-mechanical shoulder belts. We like the optional moonroof, but it hogs a bit too much headroom. The center dash includes high-mounted ventilation controls, which are simple to use. Our test car was equipped with the optional ETR cassette stereo with 4 speakers. It sounded strong and clear. But the best place to keep your cassettes is in the back seat, because you surely won't get an adult back there. This is a 2+2 model with both head and legroom seriously lacking. The full folding seat back helps turn the area into useful space. And when combined with the trunk, there's a very generous 29 cubic feet of cargo room.
All right, so I'll jump in here that there's a lot of ew here. You know, I imagine that dash, because it looks like it's one piece, is going to hold up well. It's not going to squeak well, but just black plastic on black plastic on black plastic. Big levers, easy, good ergonomics, but there's nothing appealing here. It's built to a price point, and I particularly, very strongly dislike the little instrument bin in front of you, the way it sticks out so you get this edge around it. Ew, there's no real sense of style here. Again, I'm sure it holds up very well, but ew, just kind of icky. Backseat, well, they say something about it, but that's not great, and that's not the strength of this car. You might stick some people back there once in a while just to tool them around over to lunch or something like that. But the trunk is kind of impressive. It's not huge, and they've got the back seat down right here, but I like this deep cut right here. A little bit easier to get things in. This would be a great car if you're going away for like a weekend, throw a couple bags in the back and tootle off.
Fortunately, you won't need a trunk load of greenbacks to drive the Paseo home. The base price is $9,988. Our test vehicle, with options, invoiced at $12,423. They don't call these Econo sports coupes for nothing. Our list of hits for the Paseo includes its reasonable price and sporty styling, acceptable all-round performance, and its enviable gas mileage. On our miss list, we would like a little more horsepower to match the car's sporty profile. More front headroom would be fine too, and the brakes lock too easily after several hard stops. Safety-wise, the Paseo lacks airbags, but does have 3-point rear outboard seatbelts. Anti-lock brakes are not available as they are on some competitors. A Nissan NX 2000 can be ordered with anti-lock brakes, and an airbag for the driver is standard, but you will shell out nearly $3,000 more for the bigger-engined NX 2000. Performance of the base NX is similar to the Paseo. The Geo Storm hatchback also comes with a driver's side airbag. The Geo's engine closely matches the Paseo's performance numbers. While the Storm hatchback's price is slightly higher, it also has more cargo room. However, when it comes to quality, the Paseo has the edge. As we've said, the Paseo's sporty looks promise more than just basic transportation, and it delivers. Now, a true sports car, the Paseo is not, but a reliable, economical sporty coupe it is. One that combines looks and a modest amount of power to become a head-turner that's affordable and fun to drive.
Interesting. So, I'm underwhelmed, honestly, if I'm being honest here. I'm glad they brought up the NX. I'd rather have the NX 1600 than this thing any day of the week. I hadn't even considered the Geo Storm. I was thinking about that Mazda MX-3, which would be my top choice. I guess the fact that this is based on the Tercel, which is a very basic platform, has always turned me off from this. But I appreciate cars like this. I appreciate inexpensive cars that have a little bit of style, a little bit of fun, a little bit of tossability to them. That not everything has to be big, heavy, power, and luxuries and technology, right? Sometimes less is more. And that's what a lot of these cars had that we just don't seem to have anymore. It's really a shame. There's nothing quite like this, I don't think, on the market today. It's certainly not here in America. And I miss it, but that didn't do anything to change my mind that the Nissan or the Mazda or maybe even that Isuzu, the Geo, would be what I would choose back in 1992. I know it's got Toyota reliability and a smooth engine. I'm sure it's pretty tossable, but gosh, there's just nothing there that really interests me. I can honestly say in the 90s, the MX-3 spoke to me. The NX looked a little weird, but I liked it, and I liked Nissans at the time, certainly the Sentra SER, things like that. And then even the Hyundai Scoop, it was cheap, but unabashedly cheap. And I think, honestly, if it was 1990 something and I had to go buy a car and I was looking for something like this, I'd probably buy the Hyundai before I bought this Toyota, just because, gosh, I think the Hyundai would just be a little bit more fun knowing it was a cheaper car and that you could just go wring the heck out of it. Let me know your thoughts below, guys. Thanks.